Good morning, good morning. Today we're taking a look at XRP, liquidity, and the Sigma coin. So, all right, so we are checking in here with the 3-day still being red. So we've got nothing to do at this point. We had a quick scalp off of our indicator that came in yesterday. Now we're, what was that, Friday? I don't know what day it was. Anyway, last week. And then we had a bounce back to the upside. I think it was Thursday. There we go. Bounced back to the upside. Quick scalp. Took the profits. Just chilling in cash. So in RLUSD. So nice to be able to do that now. So things to note. Volume. We've actually got more volume than we did back here in this run. And some volume showing up that was right here at the beginning. We're actually now seeing that volume manifest pretty heavily, which is great. So, and on our indicators, our fast one starting to point up. This guy's still a mid-range indicator, and then this is the one that we're using for the ultimate indication on our Discord. So if you own 160 million Sigma, you too can have access to the indicator. So now, jumping over to short time frames. We have a breakout backtest, and now we're just kind of seeing what is this going to do. Are we going to continue onward, or are we going to have to come down for one more low? So the takeaway for this ultimately is that we have some examples of when our scalp indicator went off in the past. So here's how we reacted the first time, and then if we come back to the left here, we can actually see three examples actually where we had this indicator go off. So number one, there was the 10-10 event. We came up, back tested, set a new high, right? Okay, closing the inefficiency from the breakdown. Okay, then we also had two more that showed up right in this region. This guy was another moment that it went off. So we had the capitulation, take back, and then ultimately setting a new high, but way over here, a lot longer, right? It took a lot longer for that to happen. And then this guy was an inverted indicator. So if we look at it upside down, and we look at the same thing, it had a breakdown, a take back of the breakdown, a pullback, and then a new high, right? So that's kind of what we're expecting here moving forward on this indicator, is that at some point we have a breakout, take back, and a new high. Target areas, if we do see this new high, would be somewhere in 170, because there's your inefficiency break. We'd also have 187, and potentially as high as 205. Now, jumping forward to our Wyckoff, though, if we are in fact in a different paradigm shift and we have this larger move playing out where we end up having this channel that is the spring event that pops off the lows and bounces up, we would actually continue onward, pushing above this region into the 250 region again, okay? Then do a back test of this area of the low, which you can see is pretty consistent to right here, right? So you have this tag, that one tried, this one hit it, this one hit it. So somewhere in this area, eyeballing it, something like that, $1.82 would be your back test region, is when you'd be looking at it. So, so we're just waiting and watching, seeing what we do, but this could be the breakout that we're looking for to move onward and upward. So now jumping over to the liquidity, you can see we've got ourselves liquidity ultimately that is on both sides. So we got some liquidity to the upside and to the downside. So taking a level or a move back up again and then having to come back in and close that liquidity is a potential, but doesn't necessarily mean that they actually close all of it, because not everybody gets wrecked. Somebody has to win at some point, otherwise nobody would play. And then jumping over to the Sigma coin, we have some good buys coming in, some price action, and a massive bounce off the lows, right? So this is great. We could see if we come back down into this inefficiency, we might, depending on what XRP and the community does. But obviously people are buying the 160 million Sigma to get into the token gated channel. Though you can see we're definitely pretty aggressively bought up here, but that doesn't mean we can't continue. So here's our 3-day, right? That's the one we're looking at. That one has a lot more potential oomph to go before it has to cool off again. So we're just watching the Sigma coin at this point, with a potential for a huge breakout that could potentially at least get us back up to a retrace, right? So you figure a move back up to the retrace at this point is now a 5x, and that would put us at 2.76 million. That would be pretty likely, considering we have this inefficiency right here, just even for the Sigma coin. So that would be great. And then, of course, if we break out into new highs and we hit our 1618, we'd be 121 million market cap coin, which would be spectacular. and that would be a move off of the lows for about a 253x. So I could see it happening, especially with the community soft locking up supply for the token gated channel. So we have that liquidity both sides. So expect some max fuckery for the Super Bowl, and finishing with the Wyckoff potentially saying we just keep going. So we'll watch that, along with examples of at least a pullback and one more high, right? So we'd get up into this region before maybe we roll over again. And finally, the 3-day is red. So that scalp we did yesterday is to just get some quick profits and be back to cash. So we're just chilling, waiting and watching, with the 0.5 being our tag, but concerned that there's a 618 back down here at 90 cents. So that may still be in the cards, along with this indicator telling us that there's a chance we can roll down that low. So, all right, guys, so that's what we got here this Sunday morning, and have a great Super Bowl. Thanks so much.